Buongiorno a tutti. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm afraid you have to put up with someone speaking English for a minute or two. If anyone needs translation, our colleagues at the back of the hall have an earpiece, so please collect from next to the translation booth at the back. Let me introduce myself very quickly. My name is Tim Fairhurst, and I am head of strategy and policy at the European Tourism Association. And as an association, our job is to help Europe sell itself worldwide. So we have members in Europe, but also around the world, roughly 900 members or so. I'm here with two colleagues. Fabrizio is over there. Alberto is at the back. So please do come and talk to us if you're interested. The reason why we are here to talk about China and the Chinese market and whether or not Europe is ready is, at least in part, because next year is the EU-China Year of Tourism. And the official launch of that will be in Venice on the 19th of January. So there will be a lot of activity in relation to the Chinese market, which you will see. And it's very exciting to be here in Italy to talk about it, because Italy is, of course, a very popular destination for the Chinese. But so is Europe generally, and the Chinese market has changed considerably. So as an organization, ITOA has buyers in it, so about 250 buyers of tourism services throughout Europe, and everyone else, another 600-700 members, that's the supply chain. So that could be destinations here in Europe, could be hoteliers, could be attractions, anyone at all who has got services to sell and is interested in the tourism that takes place here could be a member. So we try to take a global picture of the opportunities. To that end, it's very important that we have specialists to help us talk in more detail about what is around the corner. So I'm very excited to introduce some excellent panelists for you today. The first panelist is from Cotri, Giovanna, and she is going to introduce some data about the Chinese tourists' travel patterns and what we can expect around the corner. Giovanna.
I have to see now, just a second. Let me see here if you can, somebody can help me with the presentation. Oh, let me see. Just a second. It takes just a second and we will start with the numbers. And I'm pleased to be here today showing you some of the most important data and figures we have been working out thanks to the work of Cotri, which is based actually in Germany and with some sites in China as well. As you can see from this slide, we have just a second. Okay, here you are. And I'm here on behalf of Professor Wolfgang George as a consultant on the Italian market. And as you can see, China keeps on changing for the first time, and we have been studying this brand new market and to these days. Before talking about tourism trends to Italy and to Europe, we have to think about the way the Chinese are behaving themselves, because we have to talk about their background and the investments they are doing in Europe. This is just to give you an idea, and everybody is aware of the investment they are doing on different fields such as infrastructure, hospitality and entertainment. On this slide you can have some idea of this. Of course, outbound tourism is going to different continents and countries. Europe is one of the beloved ones, and Italy is, of course, a very well-known brand. The brand awareness of our country is deep in the heart of the Chinese. and Europe itself. As Tim said before, we are happy to host on the 19th of January in Venice the opening of the official year EU and China. Then we have to talk, when we talk about the Chinese tourism trends and where they are heading to, we have to make a short distinction among their travels. One is to Greater China, which is mainly Hong Kong, Macau, and Taiwan, and the other one is long haul and other travels. So you can see just here some of the figures we have. Some of them are being studied and officially printed by UN World Tourism Organization, and some of them from Chinese National Travel Association, which is CNTA. As you can see, this is interesting to know, the speed of growth of the Chinese market slowed down a bit during 2016, and it slowed even deeper if we talk about Hong Kong, Taiwan, and Macau. But you see that it was a minus 5.2% trips to Greater China, as I was telling you before, but there was a growth of 11.7% to the rest of the world. When we talk about this increase, even if the figures is just one figure, just a small one, we have to think of a huge number of tourists coming, of course, to the destinations we are talking about. What are the forecasts for 2000 and the first half of 2017? How it has been? I mean, with a growth rate of 7.4%. To Greater China, it improved just 0.7%, and to the rest of the world, 14.3%. This is to give you an idea of the latest numbers. This to Greater China, which is the red color, and to the rest of the world, of course, and the forecast for 2017. As you can see, we are expecting an increase from mainland China to the rest of the world. Of course, this depends on different drivers. I think that the other participants, the other speakers, they will talk about this. The most important drivers are the flight connections to the destination, visa facilities, of course, and promotion done in the language and in the country itself. So you can see these arrivals, China, was done to Germany because the main site of Kotre is Germany, of course, and these are being shown here on this slide. Border crossing from main China, January-June 2017. This is our source. You can see that on the first half of 2016 to Greater China, we had something more than 32 million on the first half of 2017. As I told you before, 0.7% plus, but to the rest of the world, 14.3, and these are the numbers. Almost 32 million, the rest of the world 31,732 on the first half of 2016, and 36,258 first half of 2017. The forecast is this one for 2017. The forecast, as you know, that depends, of course, upon the political situation and economical situations, and not last but not least, of course, even terrorism. So we studying the forecast and studying the trends to Italy, for example, and here we come to our country. I'm Italian as well, even though I'm speaking in English, of course. The first destination, the first countries according to the arrivals is Italy, as you can see. And we were studying even the trends of buying the travels online. The source has been mailing C-Trip, and we saw that the Chinese, they tried to have more overnights in Italy in comparison with other European countries, according to the situation and the safety in these countries, of course. But if we go to see which are the newest or the new European countries the Chinese are looking for and trying to study about this or to buy their travel to, we see that top of the list is Serbia, and Italy is coming just after Austria and before France. Which are the most important global drivers of China's outbound tourism? Of course, as I told you before visa. Visa, it's an important point. It's very, we show you on this slide which are the countries we are going to accept Chinese visa-free. They don't need any visa. Of course, this is improving the trends and travel tourism to this destination. And or countries which have been organized in such a way that the Chinese, they can get a visa upon arrival. Talking about Italy, we are still a bit far away from this, even though we are improving, because the places where the Chinese can get the visa in China, they are increasing. And of course, for the Chinese, it's not so easy to get the multiply Schengen visa as well. The other driver, important one, is the flight connections. And here, talking about Italy, we have to say, you will see in this slide, that we do have 2 new flight connections to Italy, which is Milan, from Milan and to Milan, Jinan with Neosea, and Guiyang. Of course, the Milan is a very important brand for the Chinese market, thanks especially after 2015. And there is another thing I wanted to tell you, and then I let, of course, the others talk about this topic. It's that the Chinese market is changing quite a lot, from quantity to quality. And this is to say to people or suppliers or operators working in a less known destination that this is the new trend of the Chinese market. They are looking for the experience because they are tired of traveling overseas and spending their time with other Chinese travelers and not getting the true experience of the destination. And of course, this is something that it will be spoken about. This is a very important organized event which will be held in London the 2nd and the 3rd of November 2017, which is preparing for the EU and China tourism here, which will be officially opened in Venice as a team and as I said at the beginning. The typical Chinese tourist doesn't exist anymore. We do have to prepare special and tailor-made experience to them. The market will be increasing. As you see, 2016 growth rates for outbound travelers below 18 and above 55 years of age is plus 90%. And the numbers will be, of course, according to the expectancy for a person living will be important as well. I'm short in time, but of course you can have the slides afterwards if you want. We have to distinguish between group travelers and FIT travelers, which are increasing a lot. And I thank you so much for your attention. I hope that I could have given you something regarding this fascinating Chinese market. Thanks a lot for your attention.
Thank you. While we get the next slide up, thank you very much, Giovanna, for a great introduction. There is a lot happening in China very fast. It's very important to get a sense from the supply side how services are adapting. So we're going to take the hotel sector first. And we're very excited to have Martin Sapori from the Accor Hotel Group to take us through the next piece. Martin.
Thank you, Tim. So welcome to everybody. What we are going to do in the next really short minutes time to give you an insight about what Accor Hotels as a leading hotel chain worldwide is doing with China market in terms of market share, but in particular in terms of the way we are working with the China's market. First of all, those are the brands of Accor. We are 24 brands from luxury to economy. Don't want to sponsor the brands, but just the way that our experience with the Chinese market is really on all the segments from luxury to economy. We are 28% of our hotels are in Europe. Together with France is 25%. but 26% of is in Asia Pacific, and the big start of the growing in terms of destination is also China as well. What we do with the Chinese market in particular, that is like you have to see the number of our loyalty member. The big stake for leading hotel chains to gain the customer inside a direct approach is of course the loyalty program. Our loyalty program is Le Club. And you can see that what we've done last year, what we see in blue, we moved from 10 million of members of 2012 to more or less 32 millions of 2016. So what we've done, now we are 106 million of Le Club members, which are really composed by 70 million. So today, 100 million are Le Club members in a way through the partnership with Wanzhou that we signed last year, but 70 million are Chinese. So this is the dimension of an actual concrete action that we done last year just to improve our way to get in touch with those markets. What's the way we are working with the Chinese? And in particular, China is absolutely an intermediate market so far. So everything is currently intermediated. The web is absolutely there, but 36% of our flows from China are from leisure individual and 41% are leisure groups. So the big dimension of China for hotels in Italy is totally leisure, driven by the groups. We still have also some stake on corporate, in particular 60% of business individual and 5% of business group. But China people are coming in Italy mainly for leisure and mainly through an intermediate channel, which could be a tour operator, which could be a travel agency. What are the key factors on working with China's tour operator? The first is the visa. As mentioned by Giovanna, we receive a strong path of cancellation 14 days before because the people didn't get the visa. So that's the big issue with this market. Second point, the payments. Why this market is intermediated? Because the payments are normally in delay from China. So looking from a hotel perspective, for us it's more convenient to have an intermediator who's guaranteeing the payments, not to do the bank job, but at the end of the day to avoid a strong operational job to gain the money in a country which is tricky in a way from like the China. Like all other parts of the world, in particular the America, also in Asia, in particular in China, the international brands are recommended. Why? Because they perfectly know the standard. For us, compared to the other hotels as hotel chains, it's more convenient to sell on those markets because they totally know which are the brand value. The category is mainly 4-star hotels, so China are asking for 4-star hotel. It's quite tricky to sell 3-star hotel, also good 3-star hotel. So mainly 4 stars, and they are starting also to ask for 5-star hotel. So what said Giovanna is absolutely true from our perspective. Meaning that the China is coming from a volumes perspective to a quality perspective. Downtown location in the city is not really mandatory, so we are also receiving good flows on non-downtown location. And what is coming to our attention in the last 2 years is that if an hotel is less than 8 points on TripAdvisor, Booking.com, this hotel is rejected automatically. So China's market is asking for a recommendation through the web, OTA, intermediate channel like TripAdvisor of a minimum vote of 8. If you are an hotel, if you're looking for China business, your point on the web is 7, you will be automatically rejected. The first generation of China coming from few days, only groups, traditional tools, they loving modern architecture instead of the classical one. But now the Chinese are divided from our perspective in adults and senior, which are more experts on travel, more rich, more curious, and also more optimistic about the future. And in particular, on the other side, the young people, what we call the millennium, and not only, they are looking for fun, for shopping in particular, and of course they are very, very, very social driven. What are we talking about? This China to Italy increased the arrivals by 1 million of arrivals from 2011 to 2019. That's the focus. So 1 million people more is the quantity I was talking about just a minute ago. And the average stays in Italy is around 11 days. They're normally touching 3 cities in the country, and Lazio with Rome, Milan, Venice, and Tuscany with Florence, and the southern part of Tuscany are really top of mind for this market. And what is good for us is that 91% of the accommodation provided by the China market are stable in the hotel. So they are normally not looking for other accommodation services like apartments or something like that. What is interesting is the seasonality. China is a very big country. You can see in the line blue, which are the seasonality of the Beijing flows, coming flows, and in the red one, you can see the seasonality of the Shanghai flows, or the Canton flows in green, and violet the Chongqing flows. For us, as an hotel company, it's good to manage the China flows also according to the seasonality. But as the market is big, is the different seasonality between the different part of China country. We receive also in our figures analysis also a special case of Milan, where there was a strong growth of the accommodation in Milan from China market, and the trend which is provided by the municipality of Milan is absolutely booming in the last year, in particular from 2011. So also some year before the Expo. The other big trend that we are looking about is that China is not only a cheap market or a mid-scale market, it's also luxury. Why? Because the big reason why people are coming to Italy from China is also to do a large amount of money in shopping. There's a big trend because they buy they buy goods in Italy with a VAT exemption, and they are going to resell directly in China 4, 5, 6, 7 times more. So that's really a big part of the increase that you can see in Milan. Why Chinese are coming to Milan? To do shopping. And that's the growth. And we see also, looking at the average spending, which is 975 euro per person, which is just the second one. The only market which is doing more is the Arab side. Thank you very much for your attention, and I will be there if you have any questions later on. Thank you very much.
Okay, there's a lot of data here. There will be a test shortly, so I hope you're paying attention. Thank you very much for a fascinating insight from Accor. So we need to think about, well, exactly what is the product? We've heard maybe 3 cities, maybe average stay of 11 days. It's now time to talk to one of the very great specialists in building product for Italy incoming. So I'd like to invite Antonello Lanzellotto from Made in Uvet to take us through the next piece. Thank you.
Thank you. Buongiorno a tutti. Dunque, io sono Antonello Lanzellotto, dirigo la divisione incoming di Made in Uvet, e quindi sono stato invitato da appunto team per portare un po' un'esperienza di un operatore che si sta misurando con questa realtà. Allora, la storia di Uvet in ambito incoming è iniziata con un'esigenza dimostrata dai clienti. Noi siamo un market leader per quello che riguarda il mondo corporate, e quindi sempre più frequentemente le aziende ci chiedevano di occuparci anche di quello che è il cosiddetto bleisure, cioè il tempo libero dei VIP o delle delegazioni straniere che erano invitate in Italia per occasioni di lavoro, e quindi, essendo il loro fornitore per i viaggi d'affari, si rivolgevano a noi anche per questi viaggi che erano invece di connotazione leisure. Abbiamo avuto una seconda esperienza durante l'Expo di Milano. Ci sono delle aziende del gruppo Uvet che sono state coinvolte nella gestione addirittura di alcuni padiglioni all'interno di Expo. Questo ci ha consentito di migliorare ancora di più questa conoscenza del mondo incoming, lavorando su pacchetti che venivano poi proposti ai nostri partner internazionali. Uvet opera in ambito corporate con una joint venture con il brand American Express e Uvet Global Business Travel. Ovviamente American Express è presente in 140 paesi nel mondo e ha questo tipo di relazione con Uvet, quindi anche non solo per esigenze di carattere estremamente professionale, ma anche per tutto quello che poi sono eventi o altre attività. Quindi questa è stata una seconda esperienza che ci ha fatto arrivare alla convinzione che in casa Uvet anche l'incoming doveva trovare una giusta collocazione, e quindi senza disperdere le energie sul rafforzamento su mercati dove già eravamo presenti, perché Uvet ha alcune filiali anche in Europa, e di conseguenza abbiamo incominciato a guardare su quello che, come hanno detto i colleghi che mi hanno preceduto, rappresenta oggi il mercato potenzialmente più interessante per qualsiasi operatore. Allora, l'approccio che noi abbiamo avuto in questi 2 anni ci ha fatto subito individuare 3 tematiche che non vanno sottovalutate, quindi questo è un po', non vogliamo scoprire l'acqua calda, ma vogliamo soltanto focalizzare l'attenzione di chi vuole incominciare a lavorare su questo mercato con dei punti da non sottovalutare. Il primo è la barriera linguistica. In Cina l'inglese si parla poco, di conseguenza per operare con la Cina è indispensabile dotarsi di un team cinese. Questo è un investimento che noi abbiamo fatto, abbiamo quindi inserito nella sede del nostro incoming un team composto sia da persone madrelingua, sia da ragazzi e ragazze che hanno studiato il cinese, che hanno vissuto, che hanno una passione per questa lingua e questa cultura, per cui hanno vissuto in Cina e riescono a interagire in modo molto facile. Ovviamente bisogna dotarsi anche di documentazione di supporto in cinese, quindi abbiamo delle brochure in cinese, abbiamo un sito anche in lingua cinese, e non sono cose banali, perché un'azienda italiana deve incominciare a fare un investimento per queste cose, perché se no i tempi si dilatano talmente tanto che non si riesce non si riescono a tenere aggiornati i contenuti. Il secondo problema è quello che c'è di fondo una diffidenza nei confronti dell'operatore straniero. Anche le grandi agenzie cinesi si trovano molto spesso a preferire di fare business con piccole agenzie cinesi che operano qui in Europa, proprio perché hanno una più facile, non è un problema di lingua, ma è proprio un problema di identificare il prodotto adatto, di conoscere le esigenze, e quindi si trovano molto bene. Di conseguenza abbiamo dovuto anche noi fare un investimento ulteriore, perché oltre a dotarci di un team cinese in Italia abbiamo dovuto aprire una sede anche in Cina, dove c'è personale cinese che dialoga tutti i giorni con agenzie e con tour operator. Da un lato racconta quello che siamo in grado di fare, ma soprattutto rappresenta un vero e proprio filtro, perché è facile iniziare a conoscere agenzie cinesi. Ieri mattina abbiamo partecipato al Meet and Match, il TTG ne ha portate qui oltre 25, quindi è facile iniziare a prendere questa relazione commerciale, ma le agenzie cinesi iniziano subito a mandarti tante richieste di cui poi si concretizza poco. Sono delle richieste così per annusare l'aria, per capire se sei in grado, se sei allineato con i prezzi. Le richieste dalla Cina sono sempre urgenti, non c'è una richiesta che ti dicono guarda, quando hai tempo fammela, le devi mandare, le devi evadere nell'arco delle 24 ore, quindi è questo il motivo per cui è necessario, a nostro giudizio, avere qualcuno che filtri le richieste alla fonte. Quindi quando arriva la richiesta arriva all'ufficio cinese, l'ufficio cinese è in grado con da alcuni strumenti di cui è stato dotato di incominciare a dare un prezzo orientativo, di dare un'idea di quello che è possibile fare e quello che non è possibile fare, in modo tale che incominciamo a evitare di essere subissati da una valanga di richieste che poi sarebbero inutili. Il terzo problema reale è che in Cina conoscono poco l'Italia, nel senso l'Italia, come hanno raccontato anche le persone che mi hanno preceduto, è identificata nei luoghi dello shopping, quindi Roma, Milano, Firenze, Venezia, ma l'Italia noi lo sappiamo che è molto, molto di più. E quindi, mancando la cultura per questo che è l'altra Italia, qualcuno se ne deve occupare, e quindi io credo che è dovere di ogni operatore fare man mano, in modo discreto ma costante, fare formazione ai propri interlocutori. Quindi, ad esempio, il tema delle fiere è fondamentale. Noi investiamo molto sul mercato cinese, qui ci sono alcune delle fiere che ciclicamente, fiere e workshop che avvengono in Cina, non solo nelle grandi città, quindi non le fiere a Pechino e a Shanghai, bisogna andare a fare le fiere anche a Shenzhen, a Sienna, in tutti quei luoghi, Chongqing, tutti quei luoghi che magari per noi sono meno conosciuti, ma stiamo parlando sempre di città che hanno talmente tanti potenziali clienti disponibili che vale sicuramente la pena di investire anche nella formazione. Quindi quando noi siamo presenti in queste fiere lo facciamo non per arrivare lì e distribuire cataloghi, ma proprio per sederci con gli agenti di viaggio che ci vengono a trovare e raccontare quello che è possibile fare, fargli capire un po' di più sul prodotto. Stessa cosa sui post. Noi in continuazione, ogni giorno, con regolarità, immettiamo delle informazioni sull'Italia, delle immagini. In Cina funziona molto il discorso delle immagini. Altro tema è quello delle certificazioni. Il mercato cinese è molto sensibile al possesso di certificazioni, cioè a questi organismi. Qui ad esempio c'è il QSC, c'è il Welcome Chinese, il Chinese Friendly Network. Sono delle organizzazioni che aiutano gli operatori a capire cosa serve ai cinesi per apprezzare poi il viaggio e la vacanza, ma allo stesso tempo servono anche a loro per dargli una garanzia che l'interlocutore è preparato per accogliere il loro cliente. E alla fine l'investimento di base è quello dei fan trip. Noi invitiamo in continuazione agenti di viaggio, invitiamo dei blogger cinesi che poi ci danno un grosso feedback, ed è quello che poi viene ripostato, ricondiviso, fa parlare un po' dell'Italia. Noi che cosa abbiamo deciso quando siamo sbarcati sul mercato cinese? Non volevamo snaturare un po' quella che è la nostra identità. Il mercato cinese più semplice dal punto di vista dei numeri, ma difficilissimo, è quello mass, cioè quello dei gruppi. I gruppi ti fanno rapidamente fare grossi numeri, ma noi sappiamo bene che è un mercato difficile perché si tratta di mettere su una sorta di catena di montaggio per questi gruppi che arrivano in continuazione. I margini sono veramente irrisori, perché parliamo di itinerari in Europa dove in 10 notti bisogna far vedere 6 country differenti in hotel 4 stelle, ovviamente decentrati, ma con un prezzo di vendita che rasenta i 500-550 euro. Quindi chi ha un po' di dimestichezza di prezzi di acquisto si fa presto i conti, quanto costa un pullman al giorno, quanto costa una camera, e capisce che rimane veramente poco, pur essendoci un grosso lavoro. Quindi noi abbiamo voluto puntare su quella che è la nostra capacità, quella di lavorare in ambito corporate, in ambito MICE, quindi eventi e soprattutto di tailor made, perché lo abbiamo sempre fatto per i businessmen che arrivavano qui da noi in Italia. Ovviamente questo è qualcosa che abbiamo trasmesso anche ai nostri uffici locali, quindi quando loro si rivolgono alle agenzie si sono suddivisi un po' il mercato. C'è chi parla di exhibition travel, che è una cosa molto sentita, queste delegazioni cinesi che vengono in Italia, c'è chi parla di incentive, chi parla di congressi. Quindi abbiamo cercato di continuare a fare questo tipo di lavoro, non voglio dire di qualità, però sicuramente meno conosciuto sul mercato cinese. Quello che ci ha un po' aiutato in questo è il fatto di essere un leader di mercato nel corporate, avere ottime relazioni con le aziende clienti e quindi non porsi nei confronti dei nostri partner cinesi come un fornitore di servizi, ma piuttosto come qualcuno che li poteva aiutare a organizzare quegli incontri professionali che non sono poi così facili da organizzare. Quindi avendo questa opportunità abbiamo cercato di capitalizzarlo e quindi di mettere all'interno del viaggio l'incontro professionale, la visita in un'azienda o l'invito da parte dell'azienda stessa di una delegazione. Il nostro target per quello che riguarda il tailor made sono i millennials, lo abbiamo detto, in quel 1,5 milioni di clienti ovviamente ce ne sono tanti che ormai sono usciti dal circuito del viaggio di gruppo, vengono in Italia per cercare experience, non sono più abituati a dormire fuori città ma vogliono essere in centro magari con l'hotel trendy, non sono più legati al food cinese ma vogliono sperimentare la cucina locale, vogliono provare i ristoranti dei grandi chef e quindi all'interno del sito abbiamo cercato di targetizzare mettendo dei cluster, aiutare un po' il cliente a trovare degli itinerari che da un lato combinino queste esperienze e dall'altro non siano solo legati a quelle poche destinazioni che sono poi quelle più conosciute. Non si può non fare un ultimo cenno veloce all'online, ovviamente anche qui parliamo di una società che è iperconnessa, adesso anche Booking.com è diventato un parametro in Cina, quindi le agenzie quando tu gli dai un prezzo vanno subito a vedere sul Booking.com cinese a quanto viene venduto normalmente. Noi abbiamo una piattaforma che è un comparatore di hotel content che gli dà la possibilità adesso ai nostri uffici e un domani ci auguriamo alle agenzie stesse di poter avere sempre, individuare facilmente il prezzo migliore. Grazie dell'attenzione.
Thank you very much indeed, Antonello. That is an excellent segue into our next presentation, which is very much focusing on how to get online, how to get your brand into China, and how to speak to the Chinese consumer. Sienna, over to you.
Thank you very much. I'm Sienna Parulis Cook from Chinese digital marketing agency Dragon Trail Interactive. And today I'll be speaking a bit about online marketing and digital brand management for the Chinese market. So what are the must-have Chinese online platforms? The first is having a Chinese website, as has been mentioned before. When Chinese travelers are searching for information, they may speak a bit of English, but of course it's more comfortable and convenient for them to do the research in Chinese. But it's not just a question of translating your website into Chinese and having it hosted where your normal website is. It's important to have a website that is hosted in China. This is because in China, foreign hosted websites are often very slow to load or they're blocked altogether, so no one can access them. And also having a Chinese hosted website will mean that your SEO ranking on Baidu, which is China's version of Google, will be much higher. So it's more likely that people will see your website. Lastly, official Chinese language websites are the most used resource for Chinese travelers to do research on destination cities. They're used by 60% of Chinese travelers when doing their travel research. The second most used platform for Chinese to do research on travel destinations is WeChat. WeChat is a multi-purpose app. It's used for everything from chat to microblogging to payment, and it's used by nearly 1 billion people. For the last several years, it's been the most used app on Chinese mobile phones. And the way you can use it as a travel provider is to get an official account. And through this, you can send out either a daily or a weekly newsletter with news and updates about your product. And it's also a very useful platform to use for customer service for the Chinese market. Then there's another social media platform, Weibo. This is China's version of Twitter. There are over 360 million users, and it's a really good way of doing research and keeping up with trends in Chinese travel, as well as key opinion leaders, KOLs, who are very influential to Chinese consumers. Another very important thing about the Chinese market is that it's mobile first. Here we have a graph showing the rise in mobile internet use in China over the past 10 years, and currently over 95% of Chinese internet users access the internet through mobile devices. Mobile payments have also really taken off in China in the last several years. And now in big cities in China, almost nobody uses cash to pay for anything anymore. They use their mobile phones with apps like WeChat Pay, as well as Alipay. So what does this mean for the tourism industry? First of all, your Chinese website should be mobile optimized, since people are likely to access it using their phones. Secondly, it's very important to engage the Chinese audience through mobile platforms like WeChat and social media like Weibo. And lastly, if you do have a lot of Chinese customers, it's increasingly important that you're able to accept mobile payment either through WeChat Pay or Alipay. And generally, Chinese people will have both on their phones, so you could have one or the other. So if you're just getting started with your digital strategy for China, what should you do? The first thing is to do some research and find out what Chinese travelers are saying about you online. There is a Chinese language version of TripAdvisor, and there are also Chinese travel review websites, Mafangwo and Qiongyo. And here I've just got some pictures for the Mafangwo page for Rimini. So you can see there's an area where users can look up restaurants and hotels and attractions in Rimini, and there are also some reviews that have been left by Chinese tourists about attractions here. On the right are some photos of a Chinese tourist to Rimini this February, because Mafangwo and Qiongyo, these websites also give users the ability to upload travel blogs and photos. So it's a good way of finding out what people are already doing when they visit your destination or your hotel. And then second most important is to join those social media platforms, especially WeChat. Now with these first two things, there's a low-cost solution, which would be to hire a local Chinese student to help you do some research and to set up a basic social media presence. And then later on, if you decide that you want to do more with social media, if you want to do campaigns, then you can get a marketing agency to help with that. I've mentioned before key opinion leaders who are very influential in driving Chinese consumer behavior. These can include celebrities, but in terms of the travel market, it can also include well-known and much followed Chinese travel bloggers. And so those websites that I mentioned before, Mafangwo and Qiongyo, they actually have their own in-house pool of key opinion leaders. So you can commission those key opinion leaders through the websites, perhaps to visit your destination and write about it. And a marketing agency can also help put you in touch with well-known travel bloggers and other key opinion leaders. And finally, if you are looking for if you have a limited budget, it's a good idea to focus your marketing on B2B. This is because in China, travel agents are still very important for booking all or some of a trip, and also just for disseminating information about a destination. And so they're still crucial, although the Chinese market is increasingly moving to an independent market. So that's all from me today. I hope you found this useful, and thank you very much for your time.
Sienna, thank you very much. And while Alberto loads up the final slide, just on personal promotion, I don't know if we've got any colleagues here from the Portuguese tourist board, but a footballer you may have heard of called Ronaldinho is one of the biggest assets for tourism promotion in China. So European brands, particularly football, are very big in China. Last but very much not least, sorry, this microphone's about to fall over, so that's why I'm cautious. Okay, relax. Last but not least, one of Eto'o's very good partners in Brussels, ECTA, is here in the form of Paolina to talk about some of the projects that are taking place at an institutional level between China and the European Union in the context of next year's EU-China Year of Tourism. Paolina.
Thank you, Tim. So I'm Paolina, and I work for ECTA, the European Association of Travel Agents and Tour Operators. and I'm here today to speak about the Partnership in European Tourism. Is a EU-funded project funded by the European Commission that we are organizing with ETOA and with ETC. ETC is the European Travel Commission. So, oops, I'm having problems here. Oh, let me check. Sorry about that. It's just not working. Okay. So, the Partnership in European Tourism wants the internationalization of EU businesses through the promotion of trans-European tourism products and B2B matchmaking events. So we will do these matchmaking events during international fairs, and the target countries are USA and China. There are funding, which is very important for European operators. We have funding available for European operators participating in these two B2B matchmaking events and at extra European fairs. So, for example, when we travel to China, you will have the possibility of having some financial support. So we have the project will provide information through its online portal, where we will have market insights, webinars and tutorial material, information on opportunities, and also the possibility of already meeting our counterparts with the partnership opportunities. So the project will organize altogether eight events, and each event will consist in a conference and B2B matchmaking event and a promotion through stand in the fair, in an international fair. The first event will be the launch of the European China Tourism Year, as previously mentioned by other speakers. So the 19th of January 2018 in Venice. There's a small mistake in the slide. So it's the official launch of the European China Tourism Year, and so we will have an institutional event, and after the institutional event we will have also B2B matchmaking events with Chinese operators and European suppliers. The second event will be during ITB Berlin on the 6th and on the 7th of March, and the format is a bit the same. So we will have a conference, and the conference will be with water routes, and will target both China and the USA market, and it will be followed always by B2B matchmaking events, and then by a stand in ITB, in which companies will have the opportunity to have a bit of promotion of their activities, and of course to continue the meetings, the business relationship that was started with the meetings the day before. So in April we will have the third conference at COTM in Beijing, and will be with the team. The event team will be family travel, and of course it will be targeting China, the format will be always the same, so conference and then B2B matchmaking events, and then participation to the fair. And these are the three events that have already been approved, so they are official, and you can already go on the online portal and express your interest, so you can have an update of the information. These are the other 5 events. They still have to be confirmed. So it's Shenzhen in May 2019, Shanghai in November, London in November, Chengdu and in December, and New York in December 2018. So it's a rich program of events during the whole 2018. And as I said before, there's the website www.eutravelpartnership.org. You can register there and you will be updated with all the information, and you will have the possibility to register to the single events and to get also more information on the project and so on. So this is all from my side. I was very quick.
Well, that was a very impressive gallop through what is going to be a very interesting year. This space is being used by another conference in 3 minutes' time, so we have to close. May I now very quickly thank my excellent panel for a really diverse, detailed and helpful insight into the Chinese market. So Antonello, Giovanna, Sienna, and we've got Paolina and Martin, my colleague here, dealing with all the bits and pieces, Alberto, and Fabrizio at the back. Last thank you to wonderful translation, backwards and forwards, Adriana, grazie a lei.